So today we're going to be going through features that Greenville absolutely needs, and a lot of these things are just like simple stuff that for some reason they just have not added, but would make the game so much better if they did. And a lot of it is stuff that isn't even that hard for them to add either, so I'm hoping that by making this video they'll actually take some of this stuff into account and hopefully add some of them. Anyways, before you get into this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe as we got on the road to 19,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Your support has honestly been unreal. My original sub goal for this year was 20k, but we're already almost there, and it's honestly been crazy how much you guys have been supporting the channel recently, so thank you guys so much. And for those guys who want to join my Discord server, that is in the description below. For those guys who want to see episode with all my future content and all Greenville's update information. But anyways, let's get straight into it. So moving straight into it, the first one here, which is a heavily requested one, is towing/hauling, which could also be used in farmer jobs if they make a farmer interactive job. And this one is one that I want so badly. Like, I mean, imagine how sick it would be to just like tow stuff and haul stuff. Now, as most of you guys probably know, with the DOT job, you can already tow vehicles, but you need to have this specific truck and you need to be doing this specific job to actually be able to do that. And although, don't get me wrong, this is super cool, it would be so much cooler if you could just tow vehicles with your civilian cars, as there are so many people who play in roleplay servers who just can't be bothered actually using this job, mainly because they don't want to have to go into this job, drive all the way to where the car that needs to be towed is, and etc, etc. It would be much better if you could just do it with whatever vehicle you're driving. Obviously, some restrictions would have to be within that. For example, certain vehicles such as a Peel P50, for example, you wouldn't be able to tow vehicles on that. But you know, for trucks and whatnot, I feel like it is definitely pretty realistic. And also just for hauling things in general, I feel like that could be really cool. Like, for example, in the screenshots that this person provided, they actually are hauling, you know, tractors and whatnot, which could actually be really cool if they ever decided to add a farmer interactive job, which I'm hoping they would, since, you know, Greenville is like a farming sort of town. And, you know, it would be kind of cool if, like, when you buy tractors, you have to pick them up from a location and you have to, like, tow them or haul them over to, you know, wherever your farm is. And yeah, overall, it's just a really neat concept, and I hope Greenville actually considers this. The next one is one that we need super badly, and this is more realistic traffic light patterns. Because, I mean, I can't tell you guys how many times I've been in roleplay servers waiting for the traffic light to change, and it just sits on the same one for, like, what seems like hours. And sometimes it gets to the point where I literally just end up flooring it on a red light because I cannot be bothered waiting for it to change. And overall, the patterns are just really unrealistic, especially compared to how they would be in real life. And apparently, before they updated the lights, the 4 traffic light signal would have a solid green light for around 10 seconds. And this person at least says that they should bring that back, which I personally agree with, as at least it'll be more consistent that way. Because, I mean, realistically speaking, Greenville servers aren't big enough to where lights need to be held up for that long. And most of the time, unless you're in like a very congregated area, if the traffic lights change slightly faster, it wouldn't really make much of a difference, to be honest. And yeah, overall, it just needs a lot of adjusting because, yeah, the way how they currently are is not that great. The next one's actually a relatively interesting one because this is actually plate customization in the dealership. So as you guys know right now, when you go into the dealership and go to buy a vehicle, there is only 2 options right now, which is options, obviously, and then specs, which shows you the specs of the vehicle. But there is nothing where you can change the plate. And instead, if you wish to change the plate on your vehicle, you have to drive all the way behind the main dealership here over to the DMV, which is the only current place where you can change your plate. And as you guys can see, when you walk up to here, you can click new plate and choose whatever plate you want, etc, etc. But this isn't that good, especially for new players, as I can guarantee that there are a lot of new players out there who don't even know that you're able to change your plates in Greenville, as it's not really made clear to you whatsoever. I mean, at the very least, if they don't want to add them into the dealership, then at least once you purchase a vehicle, there should be like a little pop-up saying, you know, go to the DMV behind the dealership to change your plate or something like that, since that would be a lot more intuitive for new players. And especially for people who have Ron Rivers set as their default dealership, that means that they have to drive all the way across the map, all the way to the other side of the map to actually be able to change it. Otherwise, the only other solution is adding a second DMV building closer to Ron Rivers. But personally, that's just a waste of time in my opinion. They should just do what this person said and make it so you can change plates in the dealership. And then, you know, possibly for additional plate customization, such as changing your plate frames, adding plate covers and whatnot, then you can go to the DMV to do that. But at least just for the basic stuff like changing the text and changing what state you want on your plate and stuff like that, I feel like that could easily be done through the dealership. I don't know if everyone's going to agree with this one, since, you know, the DMV does serve a purpose, but they at least need to make it more clear to players that you can change your plate doing that, since so many players don't know about it. Next one is a very cool one, and the reason why this is cool is because it is actually something that was made by a Greenville developer in the past, but was never added for some reason. So as you guys can see, this person found an old screenshot that was posted by Smears, and it's essentially like a menu where you can see public servers in Greenville, official servers such as OGVRP, and you can see your own private servers or RP servers, I'm guessing, and you can create a server. And I'm assuming the concept behind this was probably pretty similar to ERLC, where as you guys can see, if you actually go to this menu in the top right corner and click servers, then you can actually see a bunch of servers right here. And this is pretty similar to 5M, which is GTA Roleplay, where you can basically pick a bunch of servers to go into that are dedicated towards roleplaying. And it's actually a very good system, and I don't know why Greenville still hasn't added something like this. It's a huge missed opportunity, especially for a roleplay game, because currently Greenville is still sort of doing the old-fashioned method where you have like roleplay servers and stuff like that, which is still totally valid, because I'm assuming even if this feature was added, roleplay servers would still be absolutely a thing, but this would make it so roleplay servers would no longer have to like host sessions, and instead what they could do is just have a session infinitely running, such as what they do in 5M or in ERLC. And the way how they would run is by essentially having server staff just like being in there one at a time kind of thing, or just like whatever staff is online just like sort of, you know, moderating the server. If they were to add this though, this would be very good for people in different time zones such as myself, as I mean, for example, when I get off school, most people are already asleep, or at least for most of the people who host roleplay sessions, so I barely even get the chance to join any because by the time I get back home, most people aren't even hosting. So if they were to add this, it would mean that there would always be like a session on, so that I could always join something, and a lack of staff wouldn't be an issue either, as there would always just be staff in there sort of moderating stuff, and overall it would be much cooler in my opinion. The next one here is a relatively small one, and is one that doesn't actually exist at all. This is actually crosswalk noises, and what's actually quite interesting is that currently in Greenville there aren't really many crosswalks, especially over in intersections, mostly because obviously people will probably be driving cars majority of the time, but for people who just like to, you know, go on a jolly stroll around town, I feel like it could be cool if they were to obviously add crosswalks in intersections, especially in the first place, but also cooler if there were like crosswalk sounds and stuff like that, just to like immerse people more. Once again, it is a small one, but I feel like it would be a lot better, and a lot of people would probably utilize it. This next one is one that I really want to see in the game, and this is giving some of the Greenville map more treacherous map layouts and biodiversity, on top of a directly heavily forested area, and maybe some hiking and off-roading trails that could lead to a small camp. On top of that, a second and more detailed lake maybe. Now, although I don't know if Greenville absolutely needs to add all of this, there are a few things that I do agree with in this. So first of all, Greenville definitely needs some more treacherous map layouts, in the sense, like for example right here, they have these little like lake areas, which they could definitely have more of, and also just more biodiversity. So for example, like rock formations around the map, and also like more trees in certain areas compared to other areas. And also one that I really want to see is a more forested area where they also have like some sort of campsite, as they actually had these things in GV3. I was actually very surprised when the Greenville revamp came out that they didn't have a lot of this stuff, because in Greenville V3, for those guys who don't remember, in certain parts of the map there were definitely a lot more trees, and it definitely created a lot more immersion. And then also actually on the side of the map that I'm on right now, there was also a huge forest area where there was a campsite inside of it. And although this was later removed in GV3 mainly due to lag reasons, considering that Greenville does have a much better dev team nowadays, I feel like it would be a lot more possible for them to add some sort of foresty area, and possibly even like an off-roading track or something, which I still have no clue why they have not added. It seems like such a no-brainer to me, but yeah, for whatever reason they just never do it. And also it would help enhance the sides of the maps like this, where there is literally basically nothing around, and instead there would actually be stuff to do. Now for this next one, I'm gonna focus on one of the things that they said here, and this is actually car add-ons. So for example, this pretty much means like adding things to your car, such as shark fins, roof racks, bike racks, roof rack bars, back racks, tackle boxes, kayaks, roof tents, side racks, etc. And this stuff would be absolutely sick to have in game. I know that Greenville has added things like roof racks and bike racks and stuff to certain vehicles in the past, but the thing is that what people want, including myself, is like actually being able to put this on almost any vehicle that you own, instead of only having it on like specific trims just out of luck, because I cannot lie, that stuff would be absolutely sick to have. And once again, would just increase immersion quite a lot. What would be even more immersive though is that if you could actually like use the bikes on your bike rack, for example, or like use the kayaks that are on your roof. It's all just stuff that would make the game so much better, and I really hope they do consider adding this stuff in the future. Anyway, so thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as we are on the road to 19,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. And for those guys who want to join my Discord server, that is in the description below. For those guys who want to stay up to date with all my future content and all of Greenville's update information. But yeah, honestly, I actually genuinely really hope Greenville considers adding these features, or at least some of them, since I don't think there's any denying the fact that if they did add these things, it would make the game so much better. And most of these things are stuff that they could pretty easily add, I'd say. Yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.